Trevor McDougall, speaking of amateur athletes, dear buddy of mine has been. I remember sitting in the van out front of Beaver Boxing waiting for Joey Sandulo or Ernie or Mike Scott or one of the guys to come and open up, and you'd go up those old stairs into the dingy gym. No weights in there, couple of rings, and all you do is you do your calisthenics, your push-ups, your sit-ups, your chin-ups, and you'd do some skipping. You'd warm up. You'd hit the speed bag. You'd hit the heavy bag, and then you'd get in and you'd do some sparring. And Friday sparring at Beaver was always entertaining. Believe me. And I would sit in the van with Trevor McDougall and his little brother Dwayne, and we would sit there. This is in the late '80s. Waiting. They were just kids waiting for Joey or somebody to open up, and we'd go in. And Trevor and Dwayne went on to have outstanding amateur careers right here in the city of Ottawa and represented the city and Beaver numerous times outside. In fact, it was rare if one of them did not get voted fight of the night, win, lose, or draw. They left it all out there. Two fantastic guys. Well, guess what? Dwayne's gone on to do a couple of tours of duty after joining the military overseas. And this initiative started down south by the Americans with a staggering statistic of 22 veterans a day in tremendous discourse, if you will, suicide or others, mental illness. It's just a staggering statistic of 22 a day suffering, diagnosed, or committing suicide. That number doesn't fully reflect Canada, but it's made its way north. And coming through Trevor McDougall, who posted on Facebook, I picked up on it. Next thing you know, we got Sean Dawson involved, who, as many of you know, not only is a local restaurateur, owner of Fat Boys, but as a man who's, he just went out one time and climbed Mount Everest. In fact, I think he's done it a couple of times. But Sean's in the group, and many of you on Facebook as well or other social media sites have connected with or come across with Wendy Leask, and she is beautiful, and she is very, very physically fit and active and involved in fitness from a promotional point of view, and is an author and a writer and just a tremendous woman in her own right, tremendous person in her own right. And she is also in what I'm calling our eclectic little group. And Trevor's going to join us today, and we're going to talk about this initiative that we want to pump out there. 22pushups.ca is the website. Check it out. See what you think. It's essentially this. You do 22 push-ups a day as best you can. Doesn't matter how you do them. Don't have to be Arnie out there. Just get them done off your knees. Do one, take a break, whatever. Do 22 for 22 days. And then make a $22 donation to woundedwarriors.ca. All through our website. We've got it all set up. And we're going to try and rock this puppy all across Canada. I'm going to do some other media across Canada. We've got a great group, as I said, that's going to help pump it out there. Trev's coming on to talk about it. Trevor McDougall coming up next. 22 push-ups in 22 days. We'll tell you all about it right after this.
End-to-end hockey talk. This is Liam Maguire's Ultimate Hockey Show on 1310 News.
Yes, sir. Well, as we've done in the two previous summers, it's not quite end-to-end hockey talk once you get into July, although hockey still is prevalent, as it was with Liz and I giving our take on the Subban-Weber trade earlier. Matt Carkner coming up after 12 o'clock to talk about his decision to pack it in on the ice, and he's stepping right in behind the bench off the ice, so still some hockey talk to come. But we're going to switch gears a little bit here right now and catch up with my very dear friend, Trevor McDougall. Good morning, Trev.
Good morning, sir.
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well.
Well, you got no power. You got no power there, Trev?
I got no power. I'm out in Cantley, Quebec here. So,
well, buddy, you had power in the ring years ago, that's for sure.
I had a little bit. Now I'm just old.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You were entertaining. I don't know if you caught the start of the show or not, but I was reminiscing about sitting in the van with your family waiting for Joey or somebody to open up Beaver and us to go in and start our training on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday night. And boy, I remember your sparring sessions on Friday when it was kind of a free-for-all and you'd step up and just pick a guy and have at it. I mean, some of those were better than some of the bouts that were on the cards, for God's sake. But listen, we've got a great initiative going on. And when I say we've got a little quartet. We'll mention their names here in a second. But Trev, why don't you tell us a little bit of the background on 22 push-ups in 22 days and how you came onto it?
So I just had a friend of mine that reached out, and he's the one that actually made me aware of this 22 push-ups for 22 days. And I like taking on a challenge as well. And so I got involved, and when I got involved, and I just started posting myself doing push-ups every day. And when I started doing that, people started reaching out and actually were a little bit of giving me some constructive criticism on going all the way down. And
the goofs.
Push-ups completely the way that they should be done.
Yeah.
So I've been working on that as well, and so I've I think perfected my push-up at least 22.
Yeah.
Then I go all the way down. So that was extremely important to get in there, and that's what I was able to do. And then a number of people had reached out to me, and they said, "Well, what are you doing?" And I said, "Well, there's a situation in the United States where we had, I guess it was a study that was done on 22 states, and they identified that there are 22 people each day take their own lives from veterans that had served overseas. And so, and it was just a study that was done on those 22 states. So the number is more about just drawing attention to PTSD and mental illness and wanting to support the veterans. And my father served. My brother has served. My brother was also an amateur boxer. Dwayne McDougall. Dwayne served 2 tours overseas in Afghanistan. And so it's near and dear to my heart. And so therefore I wanted to do something. It's just a small symbol of our support of the military and first responders and people that are putting their lives on the line to help us and help society.
Yeah, well said, Trev. And you're right. It has. I did exactly like some of your other friends. I saw the post on Facebook, asked you what was going on, said I wanted to get involved. And I think it's something that can resonate with people because there's a lot of people that exercise today in some way, shape, or form. And I think a lot of people, sometimes they go and they say, they tell your friends, I was at the gym. And, if a friend doesn't work out, they go, shut up. No, well, why don't you do a little something? And so you can post it. It's 22 push-ups. And I think I like what you said, Trev. And you've posted this. Doesn't matter how you do them. Doesn't matter if they're military push-ups or anything. Just if you do a little something, and do it for 22 days. If you can, post it. I think we need to point out we've got a Facebook page that people can find. Additionally, we now have a website, 22pushups.ca. Correct, Trev?
That's correct. Yes, absolutely.
And we're going to give a shout out as well here to Sean and Wendy in just a second. And this thing now is starting to take off. And the idea has put forth initially by you, and then as we met and have discussed this online, you, me, Sean Dawson, and Wendy Leask, we now have decided that the ideal thing for people to do would be to jump in, participate, go to the website if you're not on Facebook, and we'll post this on LinkedIn and Twitter and the other sites as well, and go to the Facebook, get the details, and then there's a donation opportunity there that ideally we're looking for people to donate. Just donate $22 and match the 22, I think is what ideally we're hoping people can at the very least step up and do. Correct, Trev?
Yes, that would be fantastic. I guess I'd also like to, I had a friend reach out to me and he just said, he goes, I laughed when I originally saw that I had to do 22 push-ups. But interesting enough, as he was doing the 22 push-ups, he was thinking about why he was actually doing it. And so therefore, it made him aware about PTSD, made him aware of, okay, well, this is the reason that I'm doing this. And it's just such a small little token of taking on that challenge, but making people aware of what our veterans have gone through and what they continue to experience because of their sacrifices that they provided to us.
Trev, well said. I'll plug it again throughout the show. Before we let you go, we know the patriarch of Beaver boxing, is not in the best of health, Joey Sandulo. What did Beaver mean to you? You were there a long time. I said before when I teed up you were coming on that between you and Dwayne, almost religiously on the cards, one of you got voted fight of the night.
Sure.
You guys were warriors in the ring as far as I'm concerned. You were both younger than me. I looked up to both of you as boxers. And what did it mean to you to train there with the men that were there? And maybe a comment on Joey before I let you go.
Wow. So I recently gone to see Joey at St. Patrick's home. So he's in probably the battle of his life as well with Alzheimer's. I was able to drop in and see Joe when he was still at home with Mary. Joe is there's a father figure there. Like, we started boxing in our late teens, and I fought until I was till 2003 was my last fight. So in my early 30s, way too long. A lot of people wanted me to stop. The Beaver Boxing Club just gave people an outlet, especially like myself, somebody that was very active, and just steered you straight. Was nothing better than being able to physically train at Beaver Boxing Club. It was at Lansdowne Park. It's changed quite a bit now today. But just having the opportunity to train with lots of different fighters, got to meet guys like Joe Sandulo, Ernie Pellegrini. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Ernie was a fixture back in the day.
Yeah.
And my brother and I just thoroughly enjoyed boxing and traveling all over the country. And being in Joe Sandulo's station wagon, it was absolutely, I'll tell you, man, those trips were epic. But I just have massive thanks to Joe and everything that man has touched. And Mike Scott was another. There were so many people that gave their time to young men here in Ottawa, and that were, I guess, steering us straight and giving us an opportunity to participate in an amazing sport, and it provided so much guidance in my life, and still to this day, I take away. Boxing has provided me an opportunity to use this platform that it provided me to draw awareness to PTSD. And through this small 22 push-ups for 22 days, just a small sacrifice that it's not even a sacrifice. Small thing that show the veterans that we support them in everything that they do.
Trev, we're out of time, buddy, but listen, you couldn't have said it any better, and I want to give a huge shout-out and thanks to Sean Dawson and Wendy Leask, two phenomenal people in their own right, and their involvement in this is absolutely instrumental in what's going to happen going forward. If people aren't familiar, and I think many are, with their efforts in the community, we thank them. I thank you, Trev, personally, for coming on today. My intention is down the road to have both of them on as well. And listen, buddy, it's always great to see you. Please pass along our best to Dwayne, and we will catch up. We're going to try and meet next week, all four of us, if we can, and we'll continue this. Folks, 22pushups.ca. Just go and log on and check it out. $22 donation, even if you don't want to do it. Just throw in a $22 donation. That's all we ask. Support our veterans. Support our first responders. Trevor, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Take care.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye. There he goes, my dear friend Trevor McDougall, former top amateur novice boxer in Ontario, right out of here in Ottawa. His brother Dwayne, same thing, outstanding men, and we've got this little thing going on. Look, if it can be ALS Bucket Challenge-esque, then great. But if not, whatever we can donate to the military, it's all good. Let's take a break. We're coming back with Big Country Matt Karkner. Different show for you today, but we're going to get it right back to hockey with the big fella coming up next here on the Ultimate Hockey Show on 1310 News.